Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're diving into, honestly, one of the most perplexing geographical anomalies on the planet. It's this massive biological mystery, and it's hiding right in plain sight.
I mean, think about it. How can a narrow stretch of water separate entirely different worlds? Because that's exactly what's happening right now in the Indonesian archipelago. You've got these two landmasses sitting so incredibly close together that theoretically birds could just flutter right across. And yet, they host entirely distinct trees of life. It completely defies our basic intuition of how geography is supposed to work. It's literally like there's an invisible brick wall sitting smack in the middle of the ocean. To the naked eye, the water looks perfectly continuous. The climate is identical, the sun beats down with the exact same intensity on both sides, yet this unseen barrier acts as a sheer drop-off for entire branches of the animal kingdom. So why does life suddenly just change its identity across a mere stone's throw of ocean?
What we're looking at is an epic biological showdown. You've got Asian megafauna on one side, and their Australian relatives on the other. And the crazy thing is, this isn't some gradual transition zone where species kind of subtly mingle over hundreds of miles. No, it is a dramatic, abrupt cutoff. It's really noticeable between the neighboring islands of Bali and Lombok. Now get this, those islands are separated by a gap of barely 22 miles. That's nothing. But it's as if someone took a marker, drew a permanent boundary on a map, and just forbade any crossing.
Let's break it down. On the western side of this invisible divide, iconic Asian placental mammals absolutely dominate. We're talking about massive apex predators like tigers and huge herbivores like rhinos. These creatures represent a very specific evolutionary lineage. They flourished across the continuous landmass of the Asian continent, spreading eastward, moving and migrating, right up until they hit this exact boundary.
But then you look just across that narrow stretch of water, and those tigers and rhinos, they completely vanish. Instead, the landscape is suddenly dominated by marsupials and totally unique birds, kangaroos and cockatoos. We've instantly crossed into an ecosystem that just screams Australia. It's honestly like stepping through a sci-fi portal into a completely separate dimension of evolutionary history. In the blink of an eye, you're moving from the biological domain of the Sundershelf straight into the Sahul.
This whole astonishing phenomenon actually has a name. It's called the Wallace Line. It's named after Alfred Russel Wallace, a 19th century British naturalist who was the first to really extensively document this divide, and it stands as nature's definitive biological border in Indonesia. This invisible line marks the exact, super abrupt boundary where the Asian fauna ends and the Australian fauna begins. It's basically a monument to the unseen power of geography.
So what's the hidden culprit behind this mystery? Well, it turns out it isn't the surface water at all. Even though it looks like an easily swimmable gap, directly beneath the surface lie these massive, precipitous underwater trenches. And because of these insanely deep-sea chasms, these specific islands were never, ever connected by land bridges. Not even during the Pleistocene ice ages when global sea levels drastically plummeted. Those hidden depths acted as a permanent, unbridgeable moat, completely preventing any land animals from migrating across.
Which brings us to a pretty profound realization. Nature's most impenetrable borders are sometimes hidden depths. We so often look for the obvious stuff, right? A towering mountain range or a sprawling desert. But the forces that shape life on Earth aren't always visible on the surface. Sometimes, the most absolute, uncrossable barriers in biology are plunging trenches hidden far, far beneath the waves.
And that leaves us with a really vital question to ponder as we wrap up this explainer. What other invisible borders dictate the flow of life around us? Think about it. If a hidden trench in the ocean can forever separate the world of the tiger from the world of the kangaroo, what other unseen mechanics of nature are out there, silently shaping the ecosystems we live in today?